Brian Ritsuno here. Today I want to share with you the importance of speak well. Um, it's just because no, we actually talk to people every day, especially like family members or friends. But when it comes to like really present our ideas in front of like let's say strangers or like some sort of like audience, we tend to get really tongue-tied. And this is very quite unfortunate because to succeed, we have to actually interact with the public. The more you can articulate your thoughts and express your idea clearly, then the world will open up. And the way we tell the story actually can change the world. A lot of people get moved by what somebody says, and then their world is being shaped by the stories or anecdote. And that's a lot of times that's how human being based on our decision making. So if you could somehow convince somebody that this is how the world is, or uh, in some way to present that indigestible facts, like let's say data or all these things that the people don't want to really understand or want to hear, it's too dry. If you can make it into some kind of interesting story, you can actually move a mountain, so to speak. Like you can move like a lot of people to your like let's say goods or services, and 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 then the power you're gonna have increases dramatically, especially like if you're working with somebody. Having able to communicate or talk articulately reduces misunderstanding and also reduce all sorts of frictions that actually translate into not just hours, sometimes months or years of a pain. So when I was a kid, like I didn't really took concern about speaking that much. I was naturally pretty okay. I would say good at talking. Like I talked quite a lot when I was a kid, and and but then my situation was really in front of the audience. You know, I get really nervous, and all of a sudden, like I just wanted to kind of get it over with. So whatever comes into out of my mouth, all of a sudden doesn't really make sense. It's just going through the motion. Like I talk too fast, and the logic doesn't seem quite work. I didn't really try to connect with the audience or any of the things, and and as I grew older, I noticed that a lot of times, like I start having a lot of miscommunication with people, and it comes from that taking care of the definitions of even the words, or the way I speak. I didn't really mindful of let's say grammar and such details. So there was a room for miscommunications, and that was quite a problem. So I started noticing like I have to actually speak well, like speak articulately, and and I did like start reading or practicing in front of the mirrors or things of that nature. And then the more I can actually speak my mind, worlds start opening up actually. And also at the same time, I could free myself in a sense, like the words that you use, you can speak, you organize your thoughts. Like there was a jumble of like a bunch of ideas, but then when you put that things into words, somehow you organize it. So it kind of clears my mind and free things up a lot in terms of capacity, and then the world starts kind of moving forward. Like I could work with people better, and make a team together and start building something. So to speak well, we need to actually kind of clear a couple of things up. So first is like, there's a lot of ways to do the self-expression, right? Like music or writing or playing sports. These are great self-expression. And you might say, okay, I can do some of these kind of stuff. Like let's say you're really good at math or like engineering, that type of things. And I'm doing really good. Do I have to still worth practicing, right? Speaking, like how to articulate, how to clearly communicate to other people. And answer is definitely yes. It's because the speaking is such a fundamental in the human communication that if you could do this well in any sort of occupation or career or status you're in, people respond to you in a different way. The more you can articulate better, not just you can actually move things in a more accurate way, but then people respond positively. And of course, the more you're skillful of a language, then you can actually negotiate better. There's a little bit of subtlety here. You got to learn all these kind of techniques, but it requires certain level of skills. And if you can do that, then a little here and there, right? You're gonna have an edge when it comes to like let's say negotiation. Whatever you do, you have to have a negotiation, right? Like contract or talking to customers or suppliers, whatever. Or even teachers or anybody that you're discussing something with. See whatever you want. The way you communicate will shift the needle to your favor a little bit. And then if you do it like many times enough, that edge will accumulate. And then people who can really speak that well, and who, if you can, then that trajectory in life is going to be huge difference. So how are you gonna learn actually how to articulate? So rhetoric is kind of important, but it's not actually. That's where the true articulation really comes from. I mean, rhetoric means like styles or like you enunciate the words like really good or something. Generally speaking, that. Important thing is you want to be knowledgeable. So go with the foundational situation. So you don't have to be able to articulate every topic in an expert way. That's not how the articulation works. You got to be a domain expert. Means it's like you have to really know what you're doing. So people ask you, okay, what do you do? Okay, negotiate. You are within your very comfortable place, and then more than other people, right? Let's say, and then in that case, it flows like all these words and things of the nature. It becomes like your daily usage that you're sharing with other people. So for you, it becomes very fluent. So if somebody is like really have a domain expert, and then they can actually talk really well, but then if you ask somebody, the same person, like different domain, they can't really talk articulate at all. And this is very important. When you see like all this podcast or whatever, it is as if these people can speak the well. Yeah, they can, but then that's when they're in a domain expert place. So it's very important for you to really focus on learning and master as much as possible of your what you're really into. Now, what else you need to really careful when you want it to be articulate? It's like before you're going to be a teacher, you have to be a student, right? Good student. And for the articulation point of view, the being a student is like listening. So before you be able to speak something, you have to know what people really want to hear, right? Like when you're talking to somebody. So that means you can guess it, okay? Like you can kind of feel it, and then you can, throw out some sort of like interesting topic that you think. But then that's kind of like throwing the like darts in the darkness. You don't know where is that, like the a bullseye. So it's better to just ask some questions, like what they're interested, like the other person, and then you if something interesting you can say about that, what the other people or audience are interested in, that's where you wanted to talk about. So listening is very important. Like listening, you get the information, and then that leads you to be able to how to speak better. And a lot of people have a problems, like when you're talking to friends or family, you're like really articulate, but when it comes to like strangers in front of people, you're gonna have a problems, like because of the emotional high. This is very natural. Basically, what's happening is like your focus becomes inward, means like, oh, like how am I gonna look, or how am I gonna sound, that type of things. This is you can train yourself to focus on the topic, not yourself. So it's like a practice of self-denial. Means it's like once you are in front of people, don't worry about yourself. Okay, people are not trying to judge you or character or any of the things. They want to hear something, right? So what do you mean by hear something? They want to hear some topic. That's really the key. I mean, a lot of times, like, okay, you got to do this kind of delivery style, like gesture and stuff. Don't worry about this kind of stuff. Like, if you can start speaking well, then it comes naturally, and then it's organic is better, right? At this point, like being natural. But what's got to be focused on is the topic, and then topics or some problem that then people are trying to solve, and that you're trying to help that things to solve. So just focus the topic on them. Yeah, stop talking, worry about yourself. Okay. And yeah, so yeah, body language and all that, like the volume is definitely, of course, important. I didn't say that it wasn't important. It's just it's secondary. But then let's say volume is too low, people can't hear, that's a problem. But then right now you have a mic and stuff, so it shouldn't be the problem. But then if you feel confident enough, then your voice tone, it should be the good amount. You don't have to worry about, oh, can somebody hear? I mean, conversation is such a natural point that you can actually tell if somebody can hear, and that you can adjust it, even without like as long as you're in tune with the audience, it should be instinctual. You should notice that okay, I gotta speak up a little bit louder. Yeah, the focus is to be outside, and it should be good. Only concern I have is like some people has some strange tics, like facial tics, or like some sort of like a strange habit, right? Like shaking your like legs, or scratching here and there. If you have this type of things, you can always like be aware and then try to eliminate those. Those are get distraction, basically, like people trying to focus on you and then you're doing something strange. So if you have that kind of stuff, just try to eliminate it, and then you can eliminate it, that type of things, as long as you're aware. And then just when you notice it, just stop it, and then if you keep doing it, then it's get less and less, and eventually it's going to disappear. So what if you can you try, but then you can't really get rid of your nervousness, right? Then it's very likely that you're not in your domain. Which is like it's not in your expert place. You're not really comfortable in your own knowledge. If that's really the case, first, like, you can actually practice a lot before. Only when you have a topic. It's kind of difficult when it comes to like a free range, like a debate or any of that things. But then you gotta understand, like, you don't need to really like the basically people want to know something explained simpler, some kind of expert knowledge. Because if you have expert knowledge, but then if you're talking like expert, then people don't quite get it. A lot of jargons and everything, it's too complicated, too much of words, like logic, and then this and that, right? So if you can like kind of summarize, and then if you understand, just you can use analogy, that type of things, and then you can communicate better. But sometimes if you don't know, just say, hey, I'm not sure, so what do you think? Give people the option to speak. I mean, that's actually a great place. You don't want to say something that you have no idea, but then pretend that and then just blabbermouth. It just doesn't. It's not just even look good, but then you will lose credibility. After a while, it's like people look at what you just said, and then what are you talking about? It's completely untrue. So the important, also another thing is like silence is quite powerful. Actually, people who are not speaking, people just. I mean, if you're just kind of like not speaking, and then like attitude is like really down, like you're a downer, it's not good. But then if you're kind of interested, have a good attitude, and if you try to listen to people instead of speaking, that could be actually better than talking. So yeah, just use silence strategically, and then actually the more you listen, actually you are in a more powerful position than the people actually keep talking. Because when you talk, you're revealing yourself, but then if you're in silence, you are observing so much information. So actually in a strategical point of view, actually you're stronger place. Some people use like script and stuff, like prepared notes and things. This is just something that you really have to practice. Means just like don't use the script. Okay, like some sort of like outline is very important, right? Like because like if you have like 10 things to talk about, if you don't have an outline, then you might actually miss one or two. So outline is important. For instance, I'm actually using outlines right now. But then if you start reading off of the script, that actually shows your nervousness, or in a way it's sort of incompetent. I mean, it's just like you don't quite know what you're saying, so you have to. or you're not confident enough. Just trust your stream of consciousness, so to speak. You already figured it out. You are there, and you don't have to be genius to do this. You just have to tell the truth, like what you think to be so in certain topic or problems, and then let people decide, whoever decide, if it's worthwhile or not. If not, at least have some fun. And some people use a kind of the strategy where, like, before you say something, oh, I'm not that good at something, or like, oh, I'm still new, I'm nervous. Like, kind of you review yourself, right? Like your nervousness. Try not to do this. People don't quite know you're nervous or not by just actually from the appearance. Even your legs are shaking. If it's like from the out, like far away, nobody can tell if you are actually shaking. So, and then the more you actually say like I'm nervous, like you're putting your like attention to your being. That your goal is to put the audience's attention not to you, but then to the topic. So it's just not a really good strategy unless you're trying to do the humor, right? Like you're deprecating yourself and make some kind of fun, like have fun with the audience. But then that's a high level skills. So it's just even if you're nervous or whatever, pretend that you're confident, and then just roll with it. And then after a while, like if you keep talking, then you'll probably get used to it. Yeah, it requires practice, but you have to practice. And yeah, so important thing is really to engage with the audience. You just kind of doesn't want to keep talking without checking out how a few people are actually responding. Are they paying attention? Are they getting bored? Is it because if they get bored, should I say in a more energetic way, or maybe this topic you need? I mean, have a conversation. Don't in a way just to read off from your memory, so to speak. Yeah. And then definitely like some sort of like anecdotes, some kind of storytelling might be interesting. But then don't go into like tangent or too difficult things, right? Like focus on the topic. So it's everything is like overcoming this kind of like the fear of making mistakes, right? But then as in everything else, everybody makes mistakes. Okay, no matter who you are, like the best of the orators on earth. So don't worry about it. As long as you get the main point come across, and then then be able to say something that you needed to say. At the end of the day, don't worry too much about how people respond, because you never know. So you need to say in the cogent way, means it's like you are the one making sense when you say it. Then see how that really takes you. If it screwed it up, that's just an experience. Just move on, and then try next time do it better. That's it. But really, the more you practice articulating, right, you really open up the door of your mind, and also you can actually connect with people in a more meaningful way. They will understand you better, and you can actually have a lot better connection. Means like you can ask people like favor. It's all a lot of times you say a few words, right? That might change your life really. Like, hey, can you do it for me, right? And then if you asking the right person, and then if that person could do actually something, that might change your life. That's how powerful it is, you know, being able to articulate. Some people get like really nervous and, oh, maybe I should say it, or, you know, just say it, you know, be grateful, whatever, and then see if they're responding. If not, then just move on to the next things. But then if you're not taking any chance, it's a zero possibility that anything's going to happen. So yeah, really but you are using the power of storytelling by learning how to speak well. And really, the story is the things that really that shape humanity. So this is actually the very important topic. Like we practice how to speak. So, but then if you gain that power and then do well, really the sky's the limit for your success. Thank you for watching. Please share your ideas in the comment section below to help each other, and hit like and the subscribe buttons so you get notified of the next video. See you next time.